Sephiroths.
Yeah, it's a little surprising to see Ned in the 3-4.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes Sephiroth. He might go Cloud.
He might go Little Mac.
He might go Wolf, apparently.
Little Mac. Five gifted.
$25.
No, is Monem going Wolf? What the hell?
Apparently.
Monem's going Steve.
We could get the Final Fantasy matchup.
Let me get my Cloud on the couch.
Yeah, you got the Cloud plushie there.
Other Gauntlet pool over on UGS Gaming. If you can dual stream, please do.
Shout out to
Toad is
the
up
baby.
2-0 right now.
And going back to Smash 4, I adore Ned's Cloud. I think it's an art form in itself to watch. So every time we get to see that, it's an absolute treat. So and again, we get to see the Final Fantasy matchup here. Monem being one of those new gen players on the Sephiroth, doing really well.
He's only really been playing for like less than 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2021.
He's been a lot of fun to watch at the recent Ignites that I've been able to attend from time to time.
And just like, you know, a character that people just really are not super confident about where Sephiroth is in the meta, where like, he can do some stuff, but it's also with that lightweight. There are just times where his stocks can evaporate before he can really get any meaningful offense going.
Well, and if there's one player in this venue who knows how best to fight against Sephiroth, it's probably going to be Ned, because, well, he has so many hours on the character himself. He knows how to take advantage of that lightweight, knows how to take away the one wing and find that burst option before it even becomes online.
Probably the worst draw that Monem could have gotten early on in this Gauntlet stage, huh?
Yeah, it's rough. I will say he definitely has a decent amount of experience in this specific matchup, both Carrion and a few online players.
If Carrion feels like playing Cloud on that particular day in that particular matchup.
Yeah, Carrion is very multi-character specialist, but...
Well, this is a bad spot for Ned to be in, but he does make it back to the ledge.
That cross-slash stall was crazy. I have not seen something like that in a while for Cloud, but...
Very Spargo-esque,
yeah.
Where you're in a tough spot off stage, and the only hope to survive is like mixing up that timing off stage. And has the limit on deck now, has him in the corner, but doesn't react to the roll-up. Could have gotten an up B the other way.
I was going to note, that's the second limit this stock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that he used it really just to help with the recovery timing, because as long as Monem has a shield, he's not able to drop off the stage and do something more aggressive. So that helped Ned stay alive, but again, that's two limits that didn't convert to stocks immediately, although the back air will finally get the job done.
It was a sliding up tilt, if I'm not mistaken. But
oh, maybe it was.
Either way, like across the whole stage, and both living a long time on that first stock. You'll typically see Cloud find his stock pretty efficiently. Several of those back airs in the corner. Back air across the whole stage is not quite going to take it, but another limit on deck here for Ned, but he has to expend it right away.
Oh, okay. Good DI in that border at least. Could have gotten there bared.
Monem just struggling to find this stock now. Find that up air for his troubles, but
he's only getting the sour hit of it at the very end.
Oh.
One wing already online, 70%.
Yep. Yeah. This is one of those games where Monem may be getting that late game one win, potentially try to swing things back to his favor, but he still has to even just find his first stock. At risk of taking back across the whole stage, and that is just taking him for a ride around the whole Pokemon Stadium 2 right now.
And that's super confident in this positioning. And look at that, he even slides, turns around the forward tilt. I wasn't even sure which Final Fantasy character died there, but it was Monem's second stock.
It's really unfortunate, the first stock looking so even, but as it comes down to it, trying to force and find those kills, Cloud is a very good character at that.
Oh my god.
The weakest F tilt you've ever seen. And taking him down to the depths here, that will be a clean 3 stock coming out from Ned in game 1.
This is a story we've seen many times before when you've got like the... And Ned has been on the receiving side of it, as we've seen his career that's been going on for like 6-7 years at this point, right? The veteran versus the upstart trying to challenge his seat, right? Where the first stock stays super even, and then he finds the lap on stocks too. So just excellent stuff from Ned to find that, able to reverse the edge guard with his up B, and makes it look like it could have been, you know, a much closer game, but instead, here we go to game 2.
Yeah, that first stock, they were both around 130. Ned took it and just swept.
It's just hard to play around Ned's movement, especially when you're down already. Ned's a player that's going to be adapting as the set goes on very hard. So if you don't get that early adaptation on him, he kind of starts to get like this stranglehold on the set as it goes on.
Right.
But we are seeing Monem respond really well so far in this first stock. He already has Ned at 86.
Once again, looking really good when it comes up to racking up that percent. it really comes down to how can he force and find these kills.
Yeah.
Patience from Ned, waiting out the Scintilla. Able to get almost a good punish, but then we reverse.
Gets a forward tilt though on the recovery.
It was a 2.
I would like
Looked
to,
close.
yeah,
Yeah.
It looks like Monem's also just getting better space in this game too, because Ned was harassing his shield in really unique ways in that game 1, but now Monem is actually getting the offense first now instead of swinging second.
Yeah, I think that's because of these side Bs coming out. I did not see those almost at all last game, the Shadow Flares. Good setup, but Ned obviously knows his Sephiroth gimmicks, so not by that.
And now Ned needs to find what the offense is going to be for this game too. That's kind of the issue with Cloud though, is you do have to, there's a certain timing you have to do on your swings, where if Monem has the lead and he can play around it more efficiently, it can be kind of hard for Ned to get like the meaningful opening.
Yeah, 100%. Limit will be helping with that, regardless of whether you want to use it with a cross slash like that, or if you're just going to use the speed buff to get in on Sephiroth. It is definitely a useful tool in the matchup.
Finds that diagonal angle with the forward air to just break the zone again. And another Scintilla is thrown out, but Ned has just not been fooled by a single one.
Just really knowing the timing too on the end lag of that Scintilla. I thought he was maybe going to go for a dash attack there, but didn't need it. Got the back air. But he does have another limit that's on deck. Now immediately just rips it, gets that 20%.
When we talk about this as a timing minigame, that is certainly an option Ned really never is known to pick, is the immediate limit option. So worked out here to buy some space, but this now slows down a bit until Monem does finally get stage control with the back air. Oh, and
great
slows
mix-up. I thought it already had started charging that third stage.
Yeah, that was the latest second stage I've ever seen.
That was
and these nairs just impressive.
He tried to
going for
kill
the
him.
burst there with the forward smash on the platform.
Okay, good DI on that forward air, not losing his stock super early before, especially before Wing. Speaking of,
We might get Wing versus limit here. And Monem just continuing to pile on that damage, makes him expend it, but gets that beefy up B, get a little bit of damage. That up smash swing out of shield will take it. And we are on the last stock.
That needed a buff, by the way.
It really did, yeah. Cloud just was not good enough before, you know. Needed that dash attack buff. One of the wackier buffs that characters have done where it's like, really?
If you say so, Sakurai, if you say so.
wow, frames away from dying from that back air, but his own back air comes out, saves his life. Okay, good dash attack.
Needs that one more meaningful hit, but now this is where it was tough for Monem in that game 1, where he got netted this really high percent and wasn't able to net that last hit. But he has net in the corner here. It's the back air.
Yeah, snapping a ledger that up B too quick.
Mixing in the play.
Sweet spot should kill. Yes. 1-1.
Cloud's starting to come alive here in the venue, gets that. Evens it up for Monem, 1-1 here. And really strong response from Monem too. That first game, clean 3 stock. Brings in, makes a lot of really strong adaptation in how he is developing offense to even up the set.
I think like the most significant thing were the Shadow Flares just attaching to him, making that scared.
It made it so he had to really be cognizant of his timing on the ledge too. Especially at those higher percents where you have less ledge invincibility when you're off stage.
Right.
He wasn't able to just sit there and get his way back onto stage as easily.
Well, 2 servings of French fries open up this game number 3 for Ned, and he's looking good so far, but now Monem's got the center. Let's see if he can poke away this Cloud. Oh, okay, going for the Shadow Flare a second time.
Oh. Yeah, second hit on that scoop.
You'd think with the nature of this set, these guys would be playing a lot more defensive with these humongous swords they're swinging, but they're really getting in there in these early percents early on in the game to try to get that meaningful lead, and just, I don't know about that Scintilla.
Every single one of those has been punished at least moderately hard, and that's the strongest punish yet.
No, there has not been a single Scintilla that's activated yet, unfortunately. Okay, catching the double jump with the up air. Another cross slash stall, very interesting.
And making the absolute most of those timings on those Scintillas as well, getting that maximum punish. And now, Ned's off to the races here, getting these tech chases, piling on the damage.
And he's got the mix going.
Monem really needs to stop this bleeding.
And there's a good way to do it. Okay, so now he grabs the center, gets a forward tilt to knock away Cloud. At least burns the limit, but still taking even a small punish.
Oh, yeah.
No, pretty
Downer's
large
gonna
one.
Clear it.
Tough to think because if he did Aqua Slash, it's pretty likely he would have taken the stock himself. And now we are with Wing at 40%.
Ned making that game 2 play an absolute afterthought now. Looking very similar to game 1 and how he had that huge lead, got that 3 stock. Looking for another one again here. But Monem will have access to this wing probably for the rest of the game. At least until he gets this stock.
Yeah, no, he'll.
Oh, no!
Never mind. He did have access to Wing for the rest of the game at least.
He did.
They made you look pretty correct.
Yeah, that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Yes.
He's cutting into the TO salary.
He's like,
Give
wait,
him
the
no-
commentator's about to be wrong? Dare.
Yes.
Still
Still very doable for Monem. It looks like we have a game 5 on the side stream too.
That's still the first set, right?
That is the first set. That set has been
We're
taking
almost done
very
with
long.
2.
We're about to lap them.
I think we are, yes. Because they started around the same time as Abe LFA, so.
Well, Abe LFA was like an 8-minute
Yeah.
best of 5. So this one's, I mean, coming up on 15, 20. That's what's so tricky about any scheduling work you have to do in any Ultimate tournament, right? Is the game lengths can vary from 10-minute best of 5 to 45-minute best of 5, depending on the character matchup.
There aren't a whole lot of, like, as far as characters in the building right now, there aren't too many slow-paced ones. Like, you're going to obviously see Joku on the Villager, Predacious if he needs to camp in a certain matchup. But otherwise,
Our meta's pretty
Chicago
accurate.
gets
Yeah.
in there for the most part.
And on Smashville, these two players really don't have much room to play that slow game. They're going to be forcing the issue here. But it is Ned who claims stage first.
I feel like the stage was fine for PS2. It gave Monem room to operate and also, like, create his own openings. But now Ned here, he gets less space he has to worry about. But you also do get these edge guard opportunities for Sephiroth on the smaller stage.
I thought that'd be a turnaround back air instead of the forwarder from Monem, and then he misses a dash attack, and that's going to cost you.
Something else is like, while both of them have less room to work on, it also means Monem's going to be covering a lot more of the stage. This F tilt covers about half of Smashville.
Right.
Very true. Ned's been having to use a lot of these limits off stage as well. It's unfortunate for Monem because he's getting these off-stage opportunities, but he isn't able to capitalize on them because Ned always has that limit on deck.
Yeah.
I know we were talking trash about the Scintilla usage, but maybe on that high cross slash, I would have an opportunity to do such a thing.
Oh,
We're taking.
Taking him off stage, but great tech from Ned.
has a limit here, though. Might be able to get the stock.
I was scared of the regrab. That's what you were looking for, right?
Yeah.
But everyone's living.
Oh, we
okay.
knew about that too, yeah.
And what a great, safe way to close out that stock. Just throw out the projectile and see what it
Yeah.
does.
And like, because if he just snaps the ledge, you're fine. But reversing the up B there, costing Monem dearly there, and now has potentially his last stock here in this gauntlet. And maybe forced to be in that 4 seed coming out, but again, that falling up the other way.
You get the stock, but you don't really want to be taking Cloud stock at 184. That's a pretty rough position.
And that's been the case for a lot of this set, too, is how well Ned's been able to hold on to these stocks. Probably just the nature of how he's been saving those limits. He hasn't really been put in a spot like that very often. And knowing Ned, he's very much cognizant of that. He's always been someone that's really been good with limit management, dating all the way back to Smash 4. So just being very careful, doesn't want to be put off stage too early without that limit on deck. But here we go.
Okay, here's an opportunity for Monem, knocking Ned away, but okay, another good defensive limit spend will give Ned back to stage and put Monem in a scary spot.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a single limit cross last this time. I don't know. I always feel like that move's so...
He did one in game 3 and it just landed on shield.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's been mostly blade beams, and that's useful when you're outranged with the Buster Sword, right? Like this is one of those rare matches that happens.
Yeah.
Clean stuff from Ned.
Ned just always seemed ready for the home run hit. Like the way he was going for the Scintillas in those defensive options, goes for the up smash off the ledge there, probably trying to utilize the armor on the one wing up smash.
Yeah.
Ned was just ready for all of it.
Yeah, it's scary. And it's one of those unfortunate moves where the shield stun is a lot of where the safety comes from. So if you parry it, you are very, very, very plus. And you can get as big of a punish as you want.
Yeah. And we got Ned stepping up. The set. Where is the mic?
It's sorry.
Were you like, what is this?
You've got quite a selection of Pokemon if you want one instead.
So, obviously that's a character you know very well.
Yeah, and the matchup's pretty hard.
It looked hard. Was that when you saw that your Gauntlet matchup, you're like, this is great news. Like I'm sure you knew what character you wanted to play going into it. You have a plethora of
no,
characters,
actually, I was deciding between Roy or, I mean, they're both bad matchups, but I was deciding between Roy or Cloud. And I was like, just looking at my further bracket, I was like, I'll probably use Cloud more, like later on, like if I win, of course. So I was like, let's stick with Cloud, see how it goes. I mean, I've played that matchup a good amount from both sides, so I kind of know how to play it.
When it comes to playing against a character that you played that much, do you find trouble in separating your own perspective of the character and how you play it versus prepping for another opponent?
Sometimes. I feel less so for like maybe like Sephiroth and PT, like characters I've played so much and like fought against so much, but maybe like more so with my other characters. But I would say not too much.
Unfortunately, no 5 gifted subs for not playing Little Mac.
Yeah.
I heard about the offer.
That matchup's pretty, like, it's not bad for Little Mac. That's the funny part.
Okay, I'm not going to deny that. But
the way you were playing, too, you did a great job of always having limit on deck when you were going to be put off stage in a weird spot. You pretty much, majority of the time, you're using that to recover, or you're using it for, like, a blade beam read. That works really well.
Just mainly to get out of disadvantage. Because it's like, like Sephiroth's so slow, if I see him swing, I can just react and blade beam and invincibility right through it.
You did that a lot, too. Like, the way you're reacting to the Scintillas, whenever those are thrown out, you even reacted. You got the parry on the up smash at the end.
At the very end.
You always had the punish.
I wouldn't say lucky, but that was well-timed, I guess. Well-timed.
You were ready.
Yeah.
So, you said you're probably looking at a lot of Cloud today. Because who do you have up next in your Gauntlet? It's going to be...
I think it's Revolver.
I believe it's Revolver,
I think.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. Cloud Roy.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling about that matchup?
I think it's good for Cloud, but I think I've never been good at that matchup. I don't know. I always tell myself I think I jump too much versus Roy. And as I play it, I'm probably gonna I'll probably get hit for jumping or die for it and be in my head okay, I gotta stay grounded, use more. I'm not a very up B, side B heavy Cloud.
Yeah.
I feel like versus Roy you need to be that way, especially up B, and I need to remember that because I'm more movement based. But I feel like with Roy he has the speed and the burst options to pretty much just catch my movement. So I actually think I need to play more stationary and just more up, literally just more special.
Some of that Smash 4 Cloud still comes out in how you play him in this game. The way you move around shield and the way you do your falling up airs on the shield, and need to do more dash away, cross slashes. I like the way you're using sliding up to F tilt in that set too, though. You were really doing a good job of catching landings on Monem and putting out stocks with it too. So
yeah, I do that. I do sliding F tilt. I'm a Squirtle player, so I do sliding F tilt with every character.
So we talked about your Smash 4 history with Cloud, right, and how you would hold on to that limit for as long as possible. You actually did a good job of using it defensively, as you mentioned, but also in games 3 and 4, you were really changing up the tempo of doing a little bit more aggressive options with that too. And I feel like that could be particularly useful versus Roy as well.
Yeah, aggressive limits. Because against Roy, Sephiroth off stage, I'm actually worried about getting gimped and whatnot. Against Roy, it's a little less of a threat. I think the only thing I'm scared of is getting 2-framed by down tilt or down air.
Right.
So yeah, I could use limit more aggressively versus. It's a good idea.
Yeah, when you have so many minute interactions like that to think about and game plans and pathways with such a deep bag of characters, how do you end up deciding what character to play in a matchup? And do you ever end up regretting or kicking yourself after? Being
yeah.
If I played Roy, I could have taken this, or maybe Cloud, switch to game 3.
A lot of this tournament, this weekend, it's been I don't know who I'm picking until I sit down, and I kind of just look against Ice Knight. I didn't know who I was gonna play. I kind of just sat there for a minute or so and just looked at the character select screen. And I was like, let me try Cloud. like just see how it's played. Because I hadn't played him all day. I hadn't played him in a while, so.
Yeah.
Worked out.
It's gotta be like riding a bike at this point, though. Like playing Cloud here at this point is kind of feel like riding a bike now.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I thought Sephiroth was that way, but
Yeah.
Sephiroth's also a
At least
lot
not-
worse than Cloud.
yeah.
Probably
Maybe.
more matchup dependent, I'm sure, too. Like with which ones you feel more comfortable going. I feel like it just depends on
think-
the matchup for you.
One of my issues is, like, when I'm picking characters, I think about the matchup too much instead of, like, personal comfort or even, like, what my opponent is not good against,
That makes sense.
like, character-wise.
yeah,
So
'cause
I think I could change up my characters based off that instead of just looking at
Just the
this
matchup.
matchup and be like, okay, this character should work.
something to work on.
Absolutely.
Especially also for you, where like you haven't really been going to events as much. You've mostly been like doing streaming and stuff. So kind of have to probably relearn a bit of that a little bit coming back to stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that showed in my first set. Like I played versus Angelo, I kind of got bodied. So
You find
I mean,
difficulty.
this is my first tournament since Riptide, I think.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Do you find difficulty in switching from that ranked mindset to that, oh, I need to win every set. If I win 2 sets, I'm out of the tournament?
is that how it is?
Or I'm saying like for a normal tournament. Like going from
Oh.
like playing ranked where it's like going to a double elimination bracket where you really have to like lock in and care about every single set. Do you find difficulty in switching from those mindsets or?
Oh, okay. So I've never been a part of like a summit type of thing. So it is nice that like literally what happened. I got like beat pretty bad my first set, but it's like that's okay. I'm not out of the bracket. I'm not even in losers yet. So I have more time to adapt, think of my character picks, get more warmed up. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we also see too, like with the summit format, we see that at any summit, like beyond the summit, where people have really bad first days, and then they bounce back and have a really strong rest of the tournament. So not that you necessarily had a bad first day, but you lost a set maybe you didn't necessarily feel like you should have lost. But Angelo's been playing extremely well. So yeah, you've got today to bounce back and see where the rest of it goes. So I think we're moving on to our next set though.
Yep.
But thanks so much for hopping on with us and chatting for a while.
Good luck versus Revolver.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And give me my cloud back.
Good boy.
Goodbye.
It's like, all right.